If I can't follow these directions, we're in big trouble. Talk straight into the mic. How am I doing so far? Hey, thank you, Marika. I have a few public service announcements first before I get into the meat of my speech here. And that is Lieutenant Governor David Zuckerman is to my right. That's a first. That's a first. Zuckerman to my right. He's got some handouts for the climate march that we're all involved in next week. So we want to see you again next week. Rights and democracy, jobs, justice, climate. That's your local organization, part of the People's Action Network and an affiliate to Bernie's Our Revolution. Elise Greaves is here. Please find Elise if you want to stay involved after today, because we're not here just to march. It is really nice to be here. And I want to remind Dr. Chen, where'd Dr. Chen go? I liked your comments about denial. And denial ain't just a river in Egypt, as we've learned with the Trump administration. My home, Burlington, Lake Champlain, it's my privilege, my honor to be here with all of you truth seekers. Because that's what scientists really are. At the end of the day, science is the pursuit of truth. And all of you scientists that are here today, please put your hands up. Wave your hands. We are in some fine company. I want to give you a little, I used to be a science teacher, actually. And I came across a long time ago the meaning of the root eco. It's French. Does anybody know what it means? It comes from the Latin, which comes from the Greek oikos. I heard it in the back. It means home. So when we use eco with economy, we're actually talking about the management of the home. And when we talk about the science ecology, we're talking about the study of the home. Interesting to me that ancient cultures knew the relationship between ecology and economy. And here we are in the supposedly modern, advanced civilization with so much dysfunction and disharmony in our study of science and how we try to manage our own lives. Norman MacLean wrote a wonderful, wonderful story called A River Runs Through It. I think many of you have probably seen the movie. In it, Norman writes that he's haunted by waters. You remember that line? It's a pretty powerful line. I am not haunted by waters. I am haunted by poisoned waters. And it's very unsettling to me when I look out on this lake and I know right down there on the other side of Echo, the Burlington wastewater treatment plant is putting the byproducts of our medications into our drinking water source. Think about that. Burlington Harbor is slightly caffeinated. Okay, and that's not from some lefty snowflake outfit. That's from the USGS. What does caffeinated water mean in the freshwater ecosystem? It can't be good, right? Nobody knows. We've only recently discovered this sort of thing. Caffeine, along with 85,000 other chemicals in the marketplace that are currently unregulated, all eventually wind up in water. 85,000 in our drinking water, our recreational water, in our fisheries. It's a food source. The state of Vermont can't take care of that by itself. That's why we have these federal partnerships until most recently. It's not just the wastewater byproducts. We have an extreme problem with things that are normally good. Elements like phosphorus, one of the building blocks of life. When we use it excessively and allow it to accumulate in our freshwater ecosystems, we wind up with cyanobacteria outbreaks. Lake Champlain, in places, is producing neurotoxins and liver toxins. Again, a drinking water source. Our scientists are telling us this, but science without civic action, what good is it? What good is it? So we know that there's pharmaceutical byproducts, heavy metals, neurotoxins, liver toxins, these 85,000 some chemicals, some of which are pesticides, chemicals purposely designed to kill, going into our freshwater and marine systems. And the EPA Administrator, Scott Pruitt, just recently in his wisdom, decided to discount all of the work of the scientists at the Environmental Protection Agency over the last decade and to lift bans on pesticides. But we've been here before. Looking around the front row, I think most of you were too young, probably not even born. But there was a time in this country where our rivers literally burst into flames. And our scientists answered the call. And we cleaned up our rivers for a period of time, not just because our scientists enabled us to do it, but because we, the people, demanded it. And we put I like that. Who's got the drum? We, the people, demanded it. The Clean Water Act, which I'm sure you've all heard of. This seems like a fairly, shall we say, educated audience.
Yeah.
July 1983. That's when all the waters of the nation shall, and we're going to have to use some interesting participles here. Any English teachers to help me out? Shall have been, thank you. Never go anywhere without an English teacher, and in my case, an attorney. Swimmable, drinkable, and fishable. It's in the law. We're all entitled to that. July 1983, the waters of the nation shall be swimmable, drinkable, and fishable. If you remember nothing else, remember that the Trump administration, our legislature here in Vermont, our governor's office owes us that. They're 33 years overdue. Today our waters are diseased. I look at pollution as a cancer. Water is life. We are water. And this cancer, we're allowing to proliferate. There's no other way around it. Because if we're not engaged, it doesn't matter what the scientists do. Obviously, if the scientists tell us a certain pesticide is bad, if our elected officials don't choose to take it out of the marketplace, i.e. Mr. Pruitt, what good does it do us, we the people? Science, as I said at the outset, is the seeking of truth, the employment of reason. And when you reject science, as leaders in this nation have currently done, they also reject reason. And I feel that they also reject humanity, because it is a unique ability of humans to reason. And I don't think it goes beyond, I don't think it's hyperbolic at all to say that when you have captains of industry and their puppet politicians emboldening an administration and a Republican congressional leadership to reject humanity, that we have to rise up. We must rise up. And if anyone doubts, because you haven't been paying attention lately, that this administration rejects humanity, I'll give you a few examples. Our president boasts of bombing women and children. He's seeking to deny American citizens life-saving treatments through what he calls a health care program. He's actively breaking up migrant families. And of course, with no respect for human life, why would they feel any sort of inhibition about exploiting our air and our water? So I say it's not just enough to stand up for science. We have to demand reason. I say it's not just enough to stand up for refugees. We need to carry them on our backs if we need to. It's not just enough to stand up for women and people of color and the gay community. We have to advance human rights. This isn't just a time to stand up. This is a time to move forward. And with all due respect to President Obama, it's not enough to just be fired up. It's not just enough to be ready to go. We have to go. We have to go. We have to go, and we have to build the home, the economy that's based on ecology. The visionary Buckminster Fuller once said, it's not just enough to fight the existing reality. You make the existing reality obsolete by building a new system. We need a new economy that respects reason, a new economy that respects science. Because as I said before, science without civic engagement is nothing more than textbooks. What I want to ask you to do right now is I want everyone here to lock arms or join hands.
I'll lock your arm.
Come on, you can do it.
Connect you two together, and there we go. That's fine.
There's another influential person in my life, a visionary. His name was Ram Dass. Ram Dass said, we're all just walking each other home. And I envision a world where we're walking each other home to an enlightened, reasoned home, where truth and truth seekers write not just the science books, but the history books. Even the darkness of this administration is not going to dim our light. You're evidence of that. Together, we're going to do this. Hang tough, love strong, truth seekers. We're all just walking each other home. Thank you.